We are together, finally.
Yes. It's sometimes that we don't have really the time to make videos together. But our souls is always together.
Yes, telepathy. We are here to talk about twin flames and soulmates. Stay tuned.
It's divine. Cersei! We are actually twin flame couple which is together on earth during this beautiful time of changing the vibration of earth and the consciousness of the humanity. It's super exciting.
I already feel to say a difference between soulmate and twin flame is that it's like when you are with your partner that is also on the same track, you just feel to change the entire world like this, you know, with
when you're with twin flames, yeah.
Yes. When you are with your twin flame partner, you really want to change everything, and you do it. You don't just want. It's very nice.
Yeah. I heard actually a very nice explanation on a Bulgarian YouTube channel about the difference between soulmates and twin flames, and I really resonated with that. So what they said was that soulmates actually came from source, they separated from source at the same time, and that's what makes them a very similar vibration. I'm not saying the same because it's similar, because even with twin flames the vibration is not 100% the same. It is almost perfect, but until there's blockages and other things cleared,
that's what it is.
The vibration is still not the same. But
it's mostly like between soulmates, the blockages are not even, they are present, but they're not working out.
Yes,
they are not working on it.
Yes, they more come on earth to share the same experiences. These people usually have very similar hobbies and things that they like and what they enjoy in life, and they really vibrate with each other on this level.
And in what you were saying, that the how the soulmate appears, they come at the same time. Now the twin flames, they share the same higher self, right?
They share the same higher self, and actually they separated from source, not just at the same time, but from the same particle. That's why it is
this much.
It is really a much higher vibration of connection. And they say that every single being has actually a twin flame. Very rarely there's 3 twin flames in one circle, and even more rare is when the being doesn't really have a twin flame, so separation doesn't occur. But for the most beings here on Earth, this twin flame reunion doesn't really happen on Earth, almost never, because usually the one twin flame stays in the higher dimensions and the one stays or comes more often to Earth, let's say.
Yeah. And let's just say, because I know that once you are watching this video, you are wondering if around your friends and stuff, if there is someone that you can really tell that if it's a twin flame or not. So, for example, we can tell from our own experience. I mean, I think there can be anything, but for example, for us, our age difference is very big. I think it counts as a...
It's 11 years.
Yeah, 11 years.
Which is very typical for twin flames. All twin flame couples that I have met on the internet, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere, usually there's a very big age difference starting from 7 years, 11, some even have crazy. 22. And there's usually a very big separation between the two.
The distance.
Yeah, they usually live on totally different countries, maybe on.
She was in. I mean, once I was speaking with you, you were already in Cyprus.
Yes.
So Cyprus, and I was in Corsica. 2 islands. Okay, there was something similar. 2 islands, but completely different nation. That's it. But it was very nice.
And when I saw this being here, he sent me a friend request on Facebook, and when I saw this being, I instantly felt that, oh my gosh, there is something totally different about this being. I've never felt this vibration before. Never ever. I was instantly attracted like a magnet. Like it's something that you know, but it's not just something that you know because you have the same experience with a soulmate. It's more like it is you.
And wait a second, before reaching to this point, I was gonna say me, but it was when I spoke this and she spoke this as well, it's the same thing. We might be very different to each other, but our experience as a self is exactly almost the same. I'm gonna tell you now. For example, when we were a child, in our childhood and teenager and stuff, I was constantly having this sensation of there is someone on the other side that literally understands me 100%. I know this somewhere there, and I was telling to my friends, to my family, and it was not directly because I had no idea what the twin flame was. So, but I was just expressing my inside, just like
your soul was speaking.
Yes, and I was getting these crazy answers. Okay, and others are whatever. And you exactly the same.
Exactly the same thing. I reached to the point at the end when I started my spiritual journey before I met this being. That I thought to myself, no more relationships. I don't want to deal with anyone ever again unless the being is exactly like me. And everyone was telling me, and I was sharing this with everyone, and everyone was like, are you crazy? You will never meet a being exactly like you. This is impossible. There's always a difference here and there in this and that.
I have it's a question, but at the same time it's an answer that we as the public, we might say, well, I have a friend and it is like this and like that, and we have a very big attraction. But I think this attraction is not the same thing as a telepathic knowledge, like that we are one,
Yeah.
So when you feel this attraction for another being, which it's mostly a soulmate for sure, and it's just comforting and familiar to stay with this being, but you do not grow, you do not spiritually grow, you do not grasp these deepest things inside you that you want to work on. It's crazy. And when you find the twin flame, the eye contact is just
It's
scary.
impossible not to remember.
On the
thing.
first place, you might stare at your twin flame for long periods of time, or it might be even scary to look, because depending on how much you have to work on yourself,
Yes.
or the other being self.
What
It's crazy.
actually happens in twin flame connection, when it physically happens on Earth, is we actually start pulling out all these blockages we created in ourselves from each other. So once we reunited, I started pulling his blockages, and he was pulling my blockages. It was
One of the
horrible.
I don't know if it's a blockage, but probably we are being gentle here. But I can mention just one. I was making her more child. I don't know if
Yes.
yeah. I was trying to make you more child.
To bring me back.
Okay, this was one, and it's already enough because this can apply to everything. And so, what can you tell that you were pulling from me? Mostly?
And I think I was trying to make you more like down to earth.
Ah, okay.
To remember how to deal with earthly stuff, because I feel that you have spent more time in the higher dimensions, and there were many times when we were together in previous lives as well, because I started remembering those also once we reunited in this lifetime. But I think there was quite a big period of time when you spend more time in the higher dimensions, and I spent more on Earth, and you were actually connecting with me through from the higher dimensions. And that's how when your twin flame, I'm just gonna mention something, when your twin flame is not together with you on Earth, the twin flame is in the higher dimensions, and it doesn't mean that you are not together. You are constantly connected.
Yes,
constantly.
that's another thing for not to keep it for the end of the video, to say already that you might not find your twin flame on Earth. You might already feel it, because some twin flames, they are either on the higher dimensions, or
But the thing is that you're constantly connected.
Yes,
and the twin flame who is in the higher dimension, he or she is almost like one of your angel guardians. That's how deep the connection is. But it's even deeper than that.
And sometimes I think even it is true. This connection might be, or it is even stronger than a physical connection.
Yes.
Because, for example, let me just say this.
Are you gonna say how you came?
Okay, well, no, wait. One of the deepest desires we have between each other is to meet in the astral. We already practice astral, myself and herself, and I already practiced meeting her, but she was not conscious, or she was, I don't know.
It's the other way
how
around.
this works, but
I was aware. He came to visit me in the astral like 3 times before we physically met, but he was not really aware here on Earth about that. His soul is, of course, but he just doesn't remember these visits.
Yes, and I had this very, very powerful meditation when we were in Petya, Corsica, France. I I had a very strong experience that I was with her and also my brother Ivo, and I told her, and she didn't remember this. So it's like this: we want to meet consciously, both remembering, like, for example, just like doing like an hypnosis, but this hypnosis that you are not really being hypnotized, you are just, it's just mindless or mindful or something like this, but to be active and to merge. Yes,
I'm just gonna share the last time he came actually to visit me in the astral, because it's very interesting. It's the most exciting one. So I was flying somewhere, and I finally landed in front of a door, and there were other beings waiting to enter from there, and I was going to enter as well. And then all of a sudden this being appeared behind me and he embraced me, and I felt, wow, such love that I have never felt such a thing here on earth. And it was amazing, and I turned back, and it was this amazing being, and he kissed me, and I just said, I'm not ready yet, give me some more time. And he got a little bit sad, because there in the Astral we are not really verbally speaking, it's all telepathically. I felt that he got a little bit sad, but he acknowledged that with respect, and he went back. And the information I got is that in this lifetime he is Indian. And then that was like a year before we physically met, and I was already thinking that this connection with you is something special. But then I was like, oh, but he's not Indian, so it's not him, it's someone else. I never told you this dream.
You never told me, yeah.
This astral. And when we physically met, we were speaking about who has what ancestors, because Andre has a very interesting ancestors actually.
I can tell. Huh?
Yes.
I found out that from the part of my father there is some like 25% or something like Indian connection.
It was his grandparents, grandmother or
so
something.
My father is half African and half Portuguese, and her mother is 100% African, and I think it's her mother or her father that is Indian, something like this.
And when
So
he
this is,
told me this, I was like, no, it really is. I was so happy, but I think this is when I didn't tell you yet, because we didn't really make that deeper connection between us. Yeah, I told you later on when we reunited again.
Yes. And that was very nice to hear, and I said, wow, so many magics happening here. It never happened to me before, something like this, something, a connection so deep. And I was so deep inside the Facebook, like, this is my own thing, like I really put my intention that something's gonna happen from there. And we met in a very special group, and called the Kundalini Awakening. And
Yes.
that's when things started, because it was still early, like, for the world to know this stuff. Probably, I was not reading before all this stuff, but I think it was still very early.
It was very early, yes. Very few people were speaking about the Kundalini energy. It was more like still almost like a secret thing of the Eastern world and stuff. But anyways, we didn't vibrate with this group. We got out of there, and
and we kept on speaking, and that was the best thing.
yes, and we kept on
connection.
making our own researches, and we were sharing all the time. We were constantly connected, like every single day, even though we didn't meet physically before that and after that, because the first time we met, it was just for a week, and then we finally connected a few months after that. But the whole time we never stopped being connected from the moment we met on Facebook.
Yes.
And Sorsi, let's share what how much we grew after we physically connected.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy, man. It was so much pain in the ass. I'm gonna say the truth. It's like this. We wanted to separate over and over, but every time that we said no, let's be a man and her a woman, and let's move on, and we were correcting this, we were fixing it, we were not learning but remembering who we really are, how great it is to be the soul. And because she's a complete mirror of myself, and I am a complete mirror of herself.
Absolutely.
We didn't mention this. This is the first thing you should notice if a being is a twin flame or not.
Yeah, you will be looking at
it's a
the
mirror,
other,
man. It's like, wow.
You will be looking at the other being, and
You
many
see yourself.
times you will literally have the sensation that you're looking at yourself. Even though you have different appearances. But it is really like this. It's super, super, super exciting.
So,
We pulled so much blockages from each other.
for example, one weakness, not weakness, but something that I converted into something even better, something I transcended. My willpower was very, very weak. I didn't took initiatives. I was afraid of many things. Afraid of dogs. I mean, if I see a dog, it's okay, but
it's again the fears. That's all that is blocking us.
I mean, blockages and things to work on, it's all fears. It's all comes from fear.
Yes.
And fear contracts, love decontracts, love relaxes. So always love. That's why this channel is love and simple sugars, because you need love and you need the right nutrition to eat
The
perfectly.
lightest, purest, most energetic food.
Yes,
That's what we
electric food.
need. Yes.
One of the latest videos, electric food, because everything that is alive, and we found out that because there's a video coming as well. I don't know if it's before this one or after. It's about the third eye and the heart chakra, which is like this. When you eat greens from a crap diet, you will feel so much love and you will feel so pure and so nice. When you go for the fruits, you feel you can even feel fears from fruit. I mean,
No, I don't think so. I think it's actually the other way around.
because
Fruits
it's taking
are
off stuff.
cleansing
Yes.
the fears. Fruits, they just make you fly.
Yes,
Because
let's
why
put it in
it
that
is
way.
why it is the lightest food, the fruits. If you see clearly, 90% of the fruits they grow on the trees, so they are
reaching the sky.
the closest to the sun, to the universe, to our source. So they have the most powerful electricity in themselves. That's why when we eat fruits, we are light and we are most likely to remember and to go back to what our true self is. And I want to say that this being here, he made me remember how to eat so that I can experience all this, because we really have endless powers in ourselves. Absolutely endless. There's nothing extraordinary that you see in this world that you cannot achieve yourself. It's everything here, in the heart mostly. You want to start from there. The heart is the most important center, the focal point of your spiritual awakening, of your spiritual remembering. That's why it is awakening, it's not spiritual growth. Everybody says awakening because we are remembering.
Awakening is just the first step. The growth is crazy.
There's no growth,
No, it's more like
it's remembering.
remembering. You took the word off tongue. So awakening and remembering, it's just going on and on.
Yes, yes.
Remember is the only thing, because knowledge and wisdom is the strongest tool that we can use. Because if you remember that you are the creator, but not just thinking, but remember, you can move mountains. I don't know. If you do that,
Yes,
if you remember, you
absolutely.
disappear.
Like I said, there's no abilities that you cannot acquire. There is nothing impossible out there. And don't get shocked by people who can see with their eyes closed through the third eye or whatever other miracles they're doing. Many of these people, they're actually developing these type of powers, but they didn't clear the heart chakra.
Yeah.
And this is where the ego, but it's not really the ego, because we don't really like to call it names.
We call fire.
Yes, this is when the fire comes, and that's when they really start to feel the need to express themselves in that type of way. But when you implant love, infinite love in yourself. When you purify the heart, then the miracles start happening for you. You don't need to observe others anymore.
So, conclusion, not to make this video any longer, I think
It's okay to be long.
Yes? Okay.
Why not?
Super.
I just wanted to say there's an airplane passing. Hello. And I just wanted to say that in this way you will understand if the being next to you is a twin flame or not. You can very easily make the difference. There's always between twin flames the sensation to run away from each other from time to time at the beginning.
Yes.
And this is because we are pulling out all these crazy blockages in ourselves, and it's so hard to accept it. It's very difficult, it's very painful.
You don't look to the bad side. You can run away, no problem. You need time for yourself. It's important to have your own time. For example, if you feel to go for a walk by yourself, go for a walk. If you are on that relationship,
this is actually very important.
Yeah. You can. It's very good if you go as well, both of you together. But you also need your time to. Otherwise, they wouldn't create toilets in a separate place. They will make in the living room. God damn it. For everyone to see.
Yes,
we all need some space. That's it.
Yes, that's absolutely. This is until you reunite fully, because
because the infinite, you reunite with the collector, and from the collector to the source, and that's
and
it.
eventually it is the same higher soul. So
there's a being there.
You come to this knowledge no matter what.
Yeah, it's supreme.
And don't get depressed if you don't meet your twin flame here on Earth. It's indeed very few of us that are here physically on Earth together. In this time right now, it's more twin flame couples than ever, and the reason is because
the world is shifting.
The world is shifting, and we are here just to help the collective consciousness.
I have a sensation that somewhere in the future, let's see, that it might have 10 times or 1,000 times more twin flame couples just because of this, because of the transition.
Yeah.
We never know.
Yes.
Because
the universe is sending us everything needed. That's why the children who are born now, they're most of them star seeds and souls, rainbow souls. Most of them are souls that have never been here on Earth, because they're here just to purely make us remember how to experience love, infinite, unconditional love. This is the only vibration you want to seek for.
Love, that's it. You might feel the opposite, the most fear possible, like almost like angry or something, an explosion of get out of my life. But after 5 to 10 minutes, you are already.
Yes.
So this could be, and it is, another reason that this is really twin flame. That's not because soulmate. I think they keep longer. This hatred. Can also be.
They don't even experience that much these things.
Yes.
They really feel connected, and they don't really pull out blockages out of each other. But I'm just gonna say one important thing on how to overcome all this if you are with your twin flame, and it is to be super honest with each other.
Yeah, that's it. I did this. I ate crap food. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry, but but just say it.
Yeah,
just say whatever.
We are also sharing sometimes when we eat.
We imagine we are so sensitive to emotions that we even. I'm sorry for this noise, but it's okay. It will pass. It's just
being trying to destroy the forest.
Okay, So, one, for example, we are so sensitive that we even the sun. I just saw a ball somewhere. That we even changed the word sorry for stiplinha. I'm gonna say where this came from.
Sorry, no one will understand.
Stiplinha, imagine. Stipka is
I don't even know how this is called in English.
God.
These things that you use to hang the clothes.
To hang the clothes, you know,
you
this
hold them
thing.
with them.
Tak. Okay. In Bulgaria, this is the word stipka, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Stipulinha is like I'm adding a Portuguese word
Of it.
because we say, for example, pequeninha. It's like very tiny stuff, so we add to the stipka, so it becomes stipulinha. And that's it. So we were
And
saying
because
this.
it was a funny word, he said, from now on I'm not gonna say, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say stipki, which is the plural of stipka, and then it became stiplina.
And then one day we just said, it's okay, and then now we say everything.
Yes.
It's the intention that
That's it.
that is the most important. You can even,
You can even transform a very bad
cursing and blessing
word
only comes from
with intention.
You can say whatever you want as long as the intention is the highest of the highest, you know.
We are so powerful, we can change the vibration of anything. That's it. And
That's why there's no such thing as a good or wrong or do this and don't do that. When you say don't do, you do actually do more.
Yes,
So
everybody
all this stuff is
has
just
this reaction
BS.
straight away.
We are transcending from BS to SB. BS is bullshit and the SB is supreme being. So supreme being, that's it.
Okay.
I think that's it.
That covers
We
most
also can make more videos in the future of now, in the present of now. But this is the core and the most important and the main thing.
recognize.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then afterwards we can always make, look, we are like this and like that.
Just leave us your questions, comments down under the video.
Yeah, we can help you because we have been on this trip and now we are stronger than ever. Even to make this video, I'm gonna say the truth. We couldn't make this video, man. We were so happy once we started the video. The camera like this, don't do that, and then that's it. So terrible.
It was pathetic.
Pathetic, and it took 1 year, 2 years, I don't know. And then finally, when you said, "Shall we do the video?" Everything came to me like, "Is it gonna happen like this?" No, this is over. That's it.
We have so much love for each other and for your beings and for our beings.
Victory is ours
infinite.
and yours. Ours is yours, you know.
Stay in love. Stay in love, dear souls.